Understand that we are in this struggle as patriots, as U.S. citizens together. Nobody's saying we're perfect, but this is our republic, and I'll be damned if I will stand back and watch these people, these creatures, tear this republic down. What I think that we as a people, black, white, brown, red, yellow, citizens of this country, we need to say no to the setups, no to the deep state, no to the globalists. This is our republic. This is all about fun and games and hurting people and destroying, not building, not serving the people, body and soul, but the exact opposite. So I plead with, implore with, to all my brothers and sisters of all colors, get a grip on reality. Stop this madness. Stop this insanity. And those who won't stop it need to be stopped.
Welcome back. I am your host, Alex Jones. All right, Larry Pinckney's the real deal. He's a veteran of the Black Panther Party, the former minister of the Interior of the Republic of New Africa, former political prisoner, and the only American to have successfully self-authored his civil political rights case, the United Nations, under the International Covenant of the Civil Political Rights. In connection with his political organizing activities in opposition to voter suppression, etc., Pinckney was interviewed again by PBS, NewsHour, and so many other international programs. He's been joining us for more than 15 years. He's the editorial board member of the blackcommentator.com. He's written the book, Saying No to Power, Autobiography of the 20th Century Activist and Thinker, and, of course, blackactivistwg.org. I really appreciate him coming on. I could ask a lot of questions and bring up what I want to bring up, but and I'll do that later. But, Larry, what would you call this period we're in right now? I mean, just lay it on us, your knowledge, your approximation, because I got to tell you, these Antifa groups we know are run by Soros, these so-called black leaders are central casting, I think, to discredit real black leadership for real change. That's just what I'm seeing. I want everybody to do good. I want everybody to come together. This looks like the opposite of that. What's really going on, Larry Pinckney?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, my brother Alex, for having me on. Now, to go directly to your question, you know, what's going on, as Marvin Gaye used to sing, is we are seeing right in front of our very eyes, we are seeing the globalist deep state at work, okay? Black Lives Matter and Antifa. What a terrible, terrible blight upon all people. And I repeat, all people, all right? Antifa, which they claim means anti-fascist, is absurd, ludicrous, and totally opposite of what they claim to be. They are not anti-fascist. They are the fascists. Black Lives Matter is a ruse. It's a ruse, R-U-S-E. If Black Lives Matter, then why don't we do something about what is happening, blacks on blacks, killing blacks in places like Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. It's an endless list that won't be missed. So the bottom line here is that it's about divide, confusion, chaos, and conquer. It's very simple. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. And I'm quite sure that most of the audience, of your audience, Alex, is fully cognizant, is fully aware of what's going on.
No, I agree with you, but explain to people that don't know, most of the audience probably knows, the difference between the Black Panther Party that was actually doing something versus what they created, how they took it over, and now the new Black Panther Party. Just like the corrupt elements of the FBI run the white supremacists, it's the same dog and pony show over and over again.
Of course it is. Of course it is. First of all, let me be very clear about this. I am a veteran of the original, capital O, original Black Panther Party.
Original OG.
Yes, that's right. Original OG. I like that. Okay, it's accurate. And what's the difference? I'll tell you the difference. We had breakfast programs, food programs, clothing programs, medical programs, senior citizens programs, where we served our community. We didn't burn it down. Okay, we didn't divide it. And it didn't matter to us whether you were black, white, brown, green, or turquoise. If you were in need and in territory that we were in, you were going to be served. And we said in the original party, do not steal even a needle or thread from the people. We did not say go out, burn, loot, attack senior citizens, break into pharmacies, burn senior citizens' dwellings down, terrorize them. No, that was not our position. So there's a very, very, very big difference. Big difference. And
but you did say if we're attacked, we'll defend ourselves, which is an absolutely pro-America, pro-human, pro-reality stance. And that's why the corrupt system was so threatened. I had a gentleman that actually ran COINTELPRO on before he died of cancer, bladder cancer. And of course, that was Ted Gunderson. He apologized to Martin Luther King and the Black Panther Party for things he did, putting people in prison, setting people up. He apologized before he died for that. But that was a real thing.
That's right. And the fact of the matter is, first of all, I have to give him kudos for that apology. More than the apology, he set the record straight.
That's what he did, yeah.
And that's what we need. Set the record straight. These lunatics and maniacs running around today have not even cracked the book. They haven't read. They don't know about the reality and the details of COINTELPRO.
I agree. They're pulling down the statue in England of the British Prime Minister that banned slavery and launched wars to stop it. I mean, that's
right.
They attacked the Glory Black Veteran Civil War Memorial. What? I mean, you talk about ignorance.
Well, it's ignorance combined with arrogance. It's arrogance. And this is dangerous. You know, next they'll be attacking the statues of the Tuskegee Airmen. They'll be doing that. Just give them time, okay? The Tuskegee Airmen who were really fighting against fascism. So I get a little passionate because I find this to be not only unacceptable, but despicable.
Keep going, keep landing on it. So where are we going from here?
Well, what I think that we as a people, black, white, brown, red, yellow, citizens of this country, we need to say no to the setups, no to the deep state, no to the globalists. This is our republic. How many people even know the difference why we call our nation a republic? How many of these fraudsters out there know or even care? And I don't give a rat's petunia what their color or gender is. They don't know, they don't care. This is all about fun and games and hurting people and destroying, not building, not serving the people, body and soul, but the exact opposite. So I plead with, implore with, to all my brothers and sisters of all colors, get a grip on reality. Stop this madness. Stop this insanity. And those who won't stop it need to be stopped.
Well, that's my next question. I'm torn. Like, if Trump sends troops out, then they might overreact, and then it causes a bigger thing. But if he doesn't, we've had crew members physically attacked, brown and white, by these mobs, mainly led by white people. That's just what's happening. I mean, it's scary to see a lawless mob. You're driving on the highway and people are blocking your path, and this is dangerous.
It's not only dangerous, you're absolutely correct, my brother Alex, but it's also insane. What we're watching here is insanity, and particularly the deep state Democrats and their seditious, despicable, lying media are fanning the flames. They're fanning these flames, okay? What they don't understand is that these flames will ultimately turn back on them. So I urge all of my brothers and sisters, don't go for the ghosts, okay? Don't be duped, hoodwinked, bamboozled, okay? Understand that we are in this struggle as patriots, as U.S. citizens, together. Nobody's saying we're perfect, but this is our republic, and I'll be damned if I will stand back and watch these people, these creatures, tear this republic down.
Well, that's the key. Is this is a major global corporate takeover, scientifically dividing us. Of course, we've all got problems and issues, and we all have done things that are wrong. But the point is, they know we have a soul and a conscience, so they're manipulating that artificially. So how do we navigate that? Because so many good people I know think they've got to do what CNN says now, or they're a racist. Since when did CNN become the master controller? Folks, you should really visit Larry Pinckney's website. I know you've got several sites. Is the best one to visit blackactivistwg.org?
Yes, and I can also be found reality_1, the number one on Twitter. Yes, they are in no position to talk about races.
Yeah, everybody should follow you there. Everybody at reality_1 with Larry Pinckney. We're going to come back and talk about a really smart guy who's been through a lot of history since the 60s. What's coming next? This is really important, folks. And remember, they've got this show totally blocked out there. Only way it gets out is when you tell people how you're listening. And so Larry Pinckney, one of the original members of the real Black Panther Party, the original one, not the new black supremacist one, he's here with us, and he's seen a lot of history. He's been through a lot. He's been persecuted as well, like anybody telling the truth. But when you look at 30-something veteran suicides a day, they're white, they're black, they're brown. When you look at the millions dying every few years of fentanyl and other things, when you look at the depression, and you look at wherever you are in the middle of the nowhere, the Appalachians or somewhere in Chicago, and the degradation and the shutdown, and then you look at the attempts to make it worse and to use COVID-19 to lock everything down and just to suppress us, and these powerful multinational forces doing it, and then to see them take COVID patients and put them in nursing homes to get the death rate up and to learn they did it on purpose. Those of us that aren't psychotics have to still get our mind around real evil and somehow get the point across to other people about who we're dealing with. Because we have a conscience, so they manipulate our conscience to do what they want, but they don't have a conscience. Do you agree with that, Larry? And how do you navigate that? Because for me, getting people to realize that there is evil existing is one of the hardest things to do, because we all project our own humanity onto things. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And the fact of the matter is you said something that I think is extremely important. You said, we have a conscience. We do. However, those lunatics, those insidious individuals, and collectively speaking, people like Pelosi, okay, who comes from an organized crime family, and Hillary Clinton, who also comes from an organized crime family, and people like Joe Biden, who had the unmitigated audacity of an alley cat to dare to say to black people, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, okay? This is evil. These people have no conscience. I repeat, this is evil. Now, how do we deal with that? We must connect to one another. We must connect to one another. We are not alone. The media, the deep state seditious media, wants us to believe that we are alone, but we are not alone. As a matter of fact, we're growing and growing and growing. But individually, we must connect to others of like mind and like, what's that word? Conscience. Conscience and conscious. We are conscious with a conscience. Both of those words are extremely important. So I absolutely concur with you, my brother Alex. Absolutely.
Well, we now look at COVID coming out to be basically a hoax, and how they want us wearing masks and away from each other and alone, depressed. I mean, this is really an attempt at like cult brainwashing. What would you call it?
Well, it's an attempt to basically use fear. This is what has always been an effective weapon, and that is keep people in fear. That way you can control and manipulate them. Keep them in fear. What we have to do is exactly the opposite. We have to say, I will not be fearful. I will unite with my brothers and sisters of all colors, whether you like it or not. And I will continue to be vigilant, watching the moves, plural, not just move, but the moves of the deep state globalists. Okay? This is not the end game. They've got all kinds of despicable, insidious plans ahead. But what we have on our side is we have each other. Each other. And that's extremely powerful. And that's something that the media, the deep state Democrats, and the rhino Republicans, for that matter, they don't want you to know that. They want you to think that you're alone. You're by yourself. You're not alone. You're not by yourself. And there are a lot of people, millions, who are thinking just like you and who are conscious. So I say these are times for us to take heart, to gird ourselves, as the biblical expression goes, to gird ourselves, take heart, and take a position in favor of our republic. Okay, Abraham Lincoln was by no means a saint, but you know what he tried to do? And he succeeded in doing, against, by the way, Democrat against Democrat, who were trying to destroy the republic, who were trying to destroy the Union. And that's precisely what we are seeing today. They are using every insidious, despicable, low-life trick that they can to destroy the Union. We must preserve the Union, improve the Union, and make it stronger.
I mean, I agree with you, but how do we have an open, free society compared to others? They're using that to do this. How do they never get punished for Russiagate or Ukrainegate or now this? And I'm wondering what they'll do next if this fails. COVID-19 hoax, now this thing. I mean, what's the? I mean, I got to say, like, I don't want authoritarianism, but there's got to be a system through due process where the deep state gets punished.
You're right. You're right. And the deep state has yet to be punished. The expose of what they have done and are doing is out there. It is out there. You're not going to get it from CNN or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or PBS, but you can get it on the internet. You can get it from InfoWars. You can get it. The information is out there.
No, I agree. So people
do?
that know what's going on, the audience gets it. They've got to realize it's not just like a side thing. Oh, I need to promote this live feed, articles, you write articles. The people need to know, though. They really need to know. And I think right now we're barely winning. I think we are winning, but people need to know it's very, very close.
It is close. And because it's close, what we have to do, and I say this all the time, intensify, all right? We are in a life and death struggle for not only ourselves individually, but collectively for our republic, for our union. And yes, I think we are winning. You'll never hear that on CNN, but that's like going to the devil and asking the devil to tell you about God. That's absurd. That's ludicrous. Asking the fox who ate the chickens.
We're going to come back. I want to give you the floor because you are an amazing person. Give us a little forte. We got 30 seconds. What do you want to cover next?
Brother, I'll go wherever you want to go, wherever you think that your audience...
No, I'm asking you. Where do you want to go?
Well, I would like to talk about unity. I would like to talk about what we as everyday, ordinary, black, white, brown, red, and yellow people can do together. I would like to encourage my brothers and sisters because all we're getting is media vomit.
No, I agree. And they do it in the name of unity, disunity. Larry Pinckney, former original Black Panther Party member. Straight ahead, I'm Alex Jones. And then we've got Millie Weber, investigative journalist, joining us in the 4th hour. I'll be hosting with her. Stay with us. Welcome back, Alex Jones here. I remember 20-plus years ago reading Ray Kurzweil and others that were hired by Google as their top futurists saying, oh, the post-human world will be here by 2040, and we might let you survive, but everybody else will merge the machines, and we're going to get rid of the family unit and do all this. And back then I'm like, well, those are delusional billionaires. They won't do it. But then you read deeper and deeper and deeper, and you watch them implementing it, and you're like, this is psychotic. It doesn't make sense. They're doing it. The post-human future. And so while we're acting like idiots, debating what color somebody is or all of this, and while the system manipulates that, with real agendas, there's this bigger agenda behind it. And so I pull back and I look at this, and I know the globalists have a post-human world they want. And then I see Trump and others, at least on the surface, trying to fight it, and I see all the dumbing down that's going on. Larry Pinckney, you got the floor of this segment, one of the founding members of the original Black Panther Party, not to be confused with the new one, about unity and how we transcend this, because I can run into a group of brainwashed black people that are racist, or you can run into a brainwashed group of white people that are racist. It doesn't mean there isn't like tribalism going on, but how do you get people to transcend that to see the larger manipulation?
You take control of the narrative. And let me be specific when I say you take control of the narrative. You stop ingesting the vomit, and that's what it is. It's unmitigated vomit that we are being fed. You know, you don't waste time, energy, or emotions dealing with or stirring up the vomit. You link to those who, like you, there are many people out there. I've been meeting neighbors recently that I've been quite surprised to learn that, oh my God, they're actually thinking like me. Wow. Okay. But I had to open my mouth, gently say some things, and see what their responses would be.
Exactly. They want us locked up in our houses because they're scared we're waking up, because when we all hear that we're actually thinking the same, we come together.
That's right. And we are waking up. I don't care what they say. The fact of the matter is we are waking up. We must take control of the narrative. It's not their narrative. It's our narrative. That's why I frankly really like the name InfoWars. Why? Because what that's really saying is this is an information war, all right? We must take control of the narrative that serves the people. As we used to say in the original Black Panther Party, serve the people body and soul. Be they black, white, brown, red, or yellow. Serve the people body and soul. And that means take control of the narrative, all the crap you're going to get. And by the way, I do expect, you know, things like mass shootings. Oh, this is not over. They've got more crap coming. They've got more vomit coming. But you know what? As long as we wake up and keep waking up our fellow sisters and brothers and sisters, it's not going to work. Okay? We're going to have casualties, but it's not going to work. And Alex, you and the brothers and sisters at InfoWars have been stalwart, and I mean stalwart. You've been strong, you've been diligent, you've been vigilant. And I want to personally thank you and every member of the crew. I love you all.
We love you too, and we appreciate you. What can the listeners and activists do? Because they're really who's important right now.
I want the listeners and the activists, with all humility, to spread the word. And now, what do I mean? Spread the word. We've heard that before. All right. This broadcast, for example, spread it everywhere. Not just this broadcast, but other broadcasts that InfoWars does. Spread it everywhere. Plant the seed. Don't give up. Go just the other way. You remember that song Frank Sinatra and others used to sing, talking about that ant and that rubber tree plant? And oh my God, another rubber tree plant. Who took that plant down? An ant. Well, we're not an ant. We're millions strong, but they think we're ants. I'm asking, begging, pleading, imploring you, all of my brothers and sisters out there, to spread the word. Get it out there. That's why they're trying to shut InfoWars down.
Oh, that's what they're scared of. They're very scared. Why do you think the establishment, who are really evil people, they're anti-human across the board, why do you think they're so scared?
They're scared because the game is up, okay? They're scared because they know that once people realize what they're doing, there will be true rage and legitimate rage. They're scared
this won't be some fake Antifa revolution. It'll be the real one.
Yeah, that's why they're scared. You'd be scared too if you were them. You know, this is, and you know, the fact of the matter is they're like a cornered, okay, dog. And I like dogs, don't get me wrong. I love dogs and cats. But I'm saying you corner, you kick it, and it finally gets to a point where it says no more, and it leaps up and attacks. And this is what they're scared of. So, you know, and I want to say this very quickly. to the black elite out there, the bloodsuckers out there. Yes, I'm talking to you, black elite bloodsuckers. You are parasitic political pimps. You are using color and race to divide us. You don't give a rat's petunia about black people, white people, brown people, yellow people, or any people. You only care about your own power. You are pimping the pain of the people, and you will be held accountable. Yes, there's one.
I don't think people understand how Margaret Sanger went out and recruited a generation of black people as Judas goats. You want to tell people how they did that?
Well, you know, first of all, I'm assuming and hoping that most people are aware of who Margaret Sanger was. All right? I use one word when I think of her: genocide. Genocide. Okay? And I mean physical genocide. Killing people, saying, I'm doing this in your best interest. It's like somebody saying, I'm going to help you if it kills you. Okay? And this is what Margaret Sanger was all about. Planned Parenthood. Give me a break. How do you plan parenthood? That's genocide. And, you know, goes right back to Joe Biden.
Well, she's saying black people aren't part of the plan. Poor whites, you're not part of the plan.
That's right. That's right. And we need to understand that. That's why they're trying to divide us, divide us, divide us. We're saying it's not going to happen. We're not going to allow it, my brother. We're not going to allow it. And you know what? As I've said before, you know, their plan, the deep state, the globalists, the rhino Republicans, the deep state Democrats, go to you know where, to hell, all right? Because this is the age of the people, everyday, ordinary, black, white, brown, red, and yellow people. We will not be divided.
No, I agree. Listen, I don't like the Republican Party, but we had a populist takeover, a part of it. But it's weird how history repeats, because you've got Lincoln, who had his own problems, as you said, but at least part of that was ending slavery. And it's just weird how people don't even know the Democrats were the KKK party, and now it's a Republican again that was actually doing policy trying to bring us together, who they're now trying to create a civil war to stop.
I think it's historically quite ironic. Think about it. I think it's historically very ironic. You know, I've run across so many quote unquote Democrats who don't even realize that Lincoln, for example, was a Republican. Am I praising the Republicans and getting down on my knees saying, oh, no. But what I'm saying is at least know your history. Crack a book, for God's sake. Read, know your history. Because by keeping us dumbed down and ignorant, that's how they control us. Enough of that.
I know. I've had Democrats tell me, no, Lincoln was a Democrat, or no. I mean, they're idiots. I mean, it's frightening.
Yes. They're dangerous idiots, though, Alec. That's what the thing is. They're dangerous idiots because they push lies, lies, and more lies. But we are strong. We read, we study, we unite with one another, and we are not idiots. No matter what.
No, I agree. And I'm going to say this. We're winning right now.
Yes. And we will continue to win. Yes. Yes. So, you know, a deplorable, a super predator, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Remember those things. All I want is to see unity between my brothers and sisters, and the rest of these people can go to hell. And I can't even call them people. I'll call them
I agree. Stay there, Larry Pinckney. Well, that's what it comes down to, is they tell you that you don't count unless you support them. I say they don't count. Well, 2 years ago, Trump said, next they're going to try to take George Washington down. And now that's official. CNN, others are calling for George Washington to be taken down. And Thomas Jefferson. Well, I mean, you can look at the African tribal leader garb they're wearing that was silk taken from the East in the sale of slaves and say, you can't wear silk because it was sold in slavery. This is just a way to connect things to anything to create a new fight. Senate committee adopts amendment requiring renaming of military bases from any Southern generals. Again, that was all done to create unity. Now it just creates a fight, but now other things have got to be renamed. Other things have got to be banned. Gone with the Wind's got to be banned. This is book burning. I mean, I don't agree with Adolf Hitler, but I can go to the library and check out Mein Kampf. I read Mein Kampf. It gave me a headache. But I read what Hitler wrote. Does that mean I'm Hitler? I'll never forget at the bookstore I was buying, I was like 16. The lady got all, she goes, "Are you a Nazi?" And I said, "Is that a joke? Are you a Nazi? You're the one selling me the book. I want to read what Hitler said." I was into books. I mean, I've read books by Winston Churchill and Julius Caesar. Doesn't mean I was working for them either. But this is the weirdness, the superstition about names and ideas. And Larry Pinckney, one of the former founders of the original Black Panther Party, what is this attack on landmarks and things? What's it really about?
It's about the destruction of the republic. It's about an attempt to confuse people, because the confused people are a controlled people. So keep them confused, keep them dumbed down, keep them ignorant. All right, that's what it's about. It's really not complicated. Their plan is the same plan that it's been for quite a long time, but now it's on steroids. I call it COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program on steroids. Okay,
and which, by the way, you were targeted by on record.
Yes, of course. I was a target of COINTELPRO. I was targeted to be framed, discredited, imprisoned, and if necessary, killed. But this is something we need to all recognize. I'm glad you mentioned that, because, we're over the target. And by that, I mean, we are over the target in the sense of, excuse this word, but bursting it wide open.
No, that's a good term.
They fear it. They fear it, Alex. They fear it. And you know what? Whether they fear it or not, they're going to go down. Too many of them.
I don't fear what color somebody's skin is. I fear what's been put in their head. I want everybody to come together. I don't give a rat's ass what color you are. But then white people are brainwashed. Black people are brainwashed. It's so disgusting to watch the brainwashing done by people claiming they want unity, but you get their WikiLeaks, they want disunity.
Exactly. And that's why I say crack a book. We need to share that information with each other. These lunatics and these idiots out there have no idea that they are
what do you make of all these? The left doesn't believe in God, but now they have religious events that say being white is inherently bad. That's the opposite of what Martin Luther King said.
That's the opposite of humanity. Not just what Brother Martin said. You're absolutely correct. But it's the opposite of humanity. We've got to look at this from its roots. These people are trying to destroy humanity. That's us. And we must not let it happen.
What happens when you I know you go to colleges and places and talk to groups of people. Are the young people getting this? Because you say we're winning. I agree with you. I don't think we got it in the bag, but I think we're, 55 to 45, maybe 60-40. I think we are winning. That's why the enemy's lashing out, as you said. But what are you getting from the young people?
Well, the young people that I'm talking to, those who know their history. Unfortunately, there are a lot of young people who have no clue. You could say my background, and you might as well just put some rap music on because they have no clue, all right? But the young people who do have a clue, all right, who have read, who've cracked a book, who've studied, they're going, oh, I never thought about that. Really? The Democrats were the Klan? What? The Democrats were pushing Jim Crow? What? I thought they were, okay, so I have to plant a seed. I don't try to push it down their throats. I don't give them steak. I give them oatmeal first. And I'm obviously speaking in euphemistic
metaphors.
terms.
No, I get it. They're babies.
Metaphors, right. Okay, but first, I just plant the seed, and I let that seed grow. I was talking to a young black woman the other day on the phone, and she was in North Carolina. And I said, well, she said, well, Larry, how I don't understand. You say you support Trump. Why? And I said, let me tell you something, my dear sister. How would you feel if someone told you that you are not black unless you voted for them? She said, no way. I would be angry. I said, really? Then let me send you this email, and I want you to watch what Joe Biden said. She said, well, he just lost my vote. You see, we're dumbed down. Once we put the seed out there, let it grow. Let it grow.
And think of what an arrogant statement that is. You don't have your identity unless you do what I say. That's slavery.
That's deeper than slavery. That's actually taking, and I'm going to use your word, Brother Alex, That's actually taking your identity. It's your word, and you're correct. Stealing the essence of your soul, the essence of your life, your very identity, saying you are not a such and such human being unless you vote for me. That is deeper.
You're right. That's someone defining you don't exist unless you bow to me.
Exactly. That's precisely what it's about. And we need to get that message out there. Whether we agree or disagree, get the message out there. And I think
a great example of how she didn't know, because notice these race riots and all this fake stuff covered up for the fact that support for Biden was literally just degrading by the day. It was plunging when that statement happened. Now we don't hear about that. We have to make a big issue about that again, because that really resonated with black Americans, that you're not black if you don't do what I say. What?
Well, they'll be telling you in a minute, Alex. They'll be telling you you're not human. They're already saying that to white folk. You're not human unless you agree with us. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
No, you're right. It's a cult initiation. You bow down and you do what I say, or you're a racist.
Right. And you know what? This word racism and racist has been used so much by these fascists, and that's what they are. They are globalist fascists, okay, that it's become meaningless. There is real racism, not only in this country, but all over the world. But they've used it so much, they have neutralized its meaning. They have made a mockery of it, just like these people out here looting and robbing and killing and hurting people in their own communities have made a mockery of the death, okay, that they supposedly care so much about.
And they steal people's goodwill to come together, signing on to the globalist agenda. Larry Pinckney, you're on fire. Please come back in the next few weeks. Come back soon. We really appreciate you. Everybody should visit your websites. Again, what is the best websites for people to find your work, your books? You're saying no to power. People should all buy it and put it in your local library after you read it. blackactivistwg.org. And what was the other site? blackcommentator.com.
The other one, you can find me on Twitter, reality_1. Would love to have your input. Hope you follow. But the main thing is spread the word. I love you, Alex. I love InfoWars. I love the crew. Keep on keeping on. All power to the people.
God bless you. Absolutely. Power to the people. That's what the Declaration of Independence says. And that's the people they fear, people like Larry Pinckney, folks. I mean, you couldn't get like Van Jones or Bill Clinton on and be a tenth as eloquent, because they're reading off a teleprompter. They've got an agenda. They're slaves to Satan. And at the end of the day, folks, this comes down to good versus evil. And if you think you're going to screw any group over because of what color they are and inherit the kingdom of heaven, it's not going to happen. But then because you've got a conscience, you can't be manipulated through that conscience to do bad stuff, so you believe you're doing good when really you've been enslaved. So the whole political correctness, the whole race-based thing's got to be completely thrown out. It's all a giant lie. And I know the audience knows that. It's like Larry said, well, why are we telling your audience this? They already know it. It's the prodigal son. You already know what's going on. We're talking about the 10% that are new listeners today. Because upwards of 10% only tune in a few times. I'm talking to them because we haven't got them yet. And they literally believe I'm a white supremacist. The ADL says it. They literally believe that. They literally believe the lies they put out. And people ask me, how do you take getting demonized and attacked? A lot better than those babies getting chopped up before they get born. I got it easy, man. I'm a man. I'm tough. I can handle it. I mean, I'm not asking for more trouble, but I mean, if it comes, let's go. Think about all the innocent people that don't have a platform and that don't have what you've got to spread the word. We're speaking for them. So we better fight hard because God's watching. Next hour, Millie Weaver's coming up. Stay with us.